Have you ever felt frustrated because you just can't find it, whatever the it is? And then you just come to some sort of anger and explosion, which you just want to smash the computer, but does it help? Imagine if our president couldn't find a speech he or she just wrote on a plane for the international speech in 5 minutes. Imagine if files and data are not stored organized in the headquarters of any firm. Imagine if a restaurant messes up every other order of customers. Imagine if you're filing your tax and you can never keep the numbers straight because you don't know where your forms and spendings are. These organizations can lead to big problems in our lives, and we are like that not just for one day, but for a long time since we were children. Studies suggest that organization habits start to develop at a very young age. The surrounding environment and expectations plays a big effect. Organization persons are more likely to end up with better academic performances, getting jobs, having a steady martial status, and relationships. Thus, we should teach organization skills at the young ages. Remember, there are many different kinds of families out there. If children do not come from organized families, they do not seem to ever get a chance to learn how does keeping things organized mean. They sure know how it looks, but they don't know how to get to how it looks, or they don't get to practice doing so at home. As an elementary teacher, I have seen many different classrooms. The more organized the classroom looks, the more organized and behaved the students are. Kids come to school to learn lots of things, and learning how to be organized is certainly one of them. Statistics tells us that organized people are more successful, have higher self-esteem, and are ultimately happier. If this is so important in student success, we should bring this up to teachers, especially elementary teachers. Now in schools, it is often seen in classrooms that teachers give very little time to students to organize things because they have all the curriculums and state standards they have to teach in a very little time. So many teachers spend time before or after class to do all these organizations for students, or simply just skip those activities that would require extra time to stay away from the chaos. We know messy is fun and gets out of control easily because learning is supposed to be messy. And it is also the best time to teach those expectations of cleaning up and how to keep things organized. Good habits are as addictive as bad habits, but much more rewarding. Chains of habits are too light to be felt until they are too heavy to be broken, said Warren Buffett. So, here is the solution. We are going to teach these kids to get organized. More specifically, how to get organized. You know how every year at the beginning of the school year where you have to spend a month or so to simply establish the norm, rules, expectations, routines of the classroom with your students? Support the Frontline is a game designed for you to play with your students for a number of times at the beginning of the school year along with establishing all the other routines. Through Support the Frontline, students will learn, practice, and share organization strategies, realize the value of keeping things organized can help them know what they have and be able to access materials more efficiently, and they will have fun. For you, teachers, you will get more organized classrooms, students' personal space, less missing work, and you will prepare these kids to become more successful in many areas. There is no prepping for the game for teachers. It is very simple and fun. Teachers will read instructions to students as to establish the rules and set the settings. I have played this game myself in my Chinese immersion classroom, and here's how some of the lockers looked before playing the game, and the very same lockers after the game. And I'll give you a general idea of how the game goes. Students will be playing professional assembly line workers. Efficiency and accuracy is the goal. First, ask each group to get a number of certain materials. Now, I did not ask students to organize the materials, but some groups did automatically. Second, tell students that the goal of the game is to put materials neatly on the assembly table in 30 seconds to earn points. Third, Students will be playing 8 rounds to accumulate game points. In between rounds, students will be provided with 1 minute of prepping group talk. Teachers do not prompt any discussion, which allows students to utilize pure knowledge and pressure to learn. Students will come up with strategies and ideas of how to be efficient and accurate. This is where exchange of strategies and realization of value of keeping things organized comes into play. Fourth, at the 5th round of the game, the teacher guided class discussion on who has earned the most points and to ask students to share strategies. At the very end of the game, do a wrap-up conversation about what they have learned and how these strategies can be applied to their lockers, desks, backpacks, and even their rooms. This is a much more meaningful learning process than an adult yelling at a child over a messy locker or backpack, because they have learned the strategies, know how it is doable, they practice, and they had fun. This game is designed for kindergarten to 3rd grade elementary teachers. The best thing of all for teachers is this is free, and it works. At last, I would like to thank you for your time, and I hope this game can bring a change in your students or your classroom.